For as long as I can remember, the sound of the wind roaring across the high bridges has been my horizon. It thrums against the cables like a drum, vibrating through the soles of my boots and turning every journey into music. Most people think blindness is silence and darkness. For me, the world is a map of pressure, scent, and echo, especially here, among the 7 peaks. Our city's crowned mountaintops that pierce the poisonous cloud sea below. We trade on rope bridges, we pray in glass cupolas that glitter under harsh sun, and we travel by narrow ledges carved into cliff faces. I am a courier, and the wind is my guide. My childhood tutor, Mistress Halden, once told me the smog was a curse laid down by ancient arrogance. Factories that ran too hot, rotting forests that belched up fumes, a war that cracked the earth's crust. She said the old world drowned itself in poison, so we fled upward and built cloud pier towers. Perhaps that's true. I cannot see the gray mass that rolls beneath us, but I smell its sulfur and ozone whenever the wind shifts. It bites the back of my throat and makes me thankful the least powerful sense I possess is taste. Couriers like me are prized because we memorize pathways with our bodies. Stairs, ladders, railings. Each speaks its own language of tilt and texture. A seeing messenger can lose focus, glance over a railing and find only death beneath. I feel the chisel marks and the temperature of stone. My cane flicks, taps, and sings. Clients trust me with delicate parcels, honored letters, even whispered secrets folded into braille-embossed copper sheets. I get them where they must go. One such secret changed everything. The journey began with a summons etched into smart paper that pulsed against my fingers. Courier Ashlyn Rowe, present yourself at Midnight Parapet. 1 sealed package, triple fee, no question. The signature carried the faint pressure pattern of an elite someone from the High Convene. I recognized the swirl, though I could not name the owner. Curiosity is currency. I pocketed it gladly. Midnight Parapet is the highest platform in Dawnspire, itself the highest of the 7 peaks. Climbing there at sunrise, I passed the usual markers. The cedars smell at level 16 where aviaries hang. The gentle hum of turbine shafts on level 22, the buffeting wind that means level 30. By the time I reached the parapet, my lungs burned thin, cold air. Someone awaited me. Her boots ticked the stones in a brisk rhythm. A silky cloak snapped behind her. "Courier Rowe," she said, voice level yet edged like mountain ice. She guided my hand to a cylindrical container, warm and faintly humming. No ordinary scroll case, something mechanical pulsed inside. "You will deliver this to Aura's Citadel," she instructed. "Take no companion. Use the ridge path. Present it to Chancellor Kuth." I nodded, expecting payment. Instead, she pressed a bone token into my palm. "Present this later, and your account will swell," she whispered closer. "There will be watchers. Fail, and your name ends. Threats are older than the clouds." I bowed, turned, and began my descent. The container's weight tugged against its strap. Inside, Gear's words soft as a heartbeat. I wondered whether it was weapon or cure, vow or confession. I would never know. Couriers do not open cargo. Yet the route bothered me. The ridge path? Few use it anymore. Rock slides have knotted thin. My usual trail via Highwish Bridge is safer, faster. Why send me dancing across crumbling ledges? As I left, mist plucked at my cheeks. My cane skimmed loose scree. My instincts thrummed. At switchback 9, I realized someone tailed me, unmistakable. Bootfalls that stopped when mine stopped. I feigned adjusting my pack, tapped my cane in a deliberate pattern. Stone, void, railing to gauge echoes. A body shifted 2 paces back and to the right. The ridge path, remote as it is, offers few hiding spots. Whoever shadowed me stepped light, but not light enough. I quickened my stride, focusing on the route's tactile memory. A sharp jut of basalt, then a knee-high step, then a bridge of chain slats swaying above nothing. Behind, footsteps matched. When I reached the chain bridge, gusts howled, metal links creaking. I hesitated, measuring tension with my cane. The follower waited. Wind ripped cloth. I turned. "If you intend to rob me," I called, "better do it before the bridge. You might retrieve the case from my corpse, but you'll never climb back up through poison." Silence, then a man's voice, young and breathless. I don't want your cargo, I want your help, Strange. I stepped aside from the bridge mouth. Speak, then. My sister. He paused, considering. She's dying. The convocation denies petitioners. You deliver for them, I thought. Maybe you could get medicine. My clients choose me, not vice versa. He inched closer. My cane tip caught the scent. Pine tar on his clothes. Stray lavender someone from woodcutters downwind of Virgil Peak. Desperation thickened his tone. Leave, I said. It sounded cruel, but mercy can be lethal at these heights. He had followed the wrong courier. I crossed the bridge, links rattling. Halfway I felt him step after me, weight vibrating the chain. Idiot. 2 persons on these old spans, double risk. I inhaled to warn him, but a new vibration cut through, a faint metallic twang ahead. A cable parted, the world lurched. I dropped flat, wrapping arms around a chain rail. The bridge sagged violently. The man behind cried out, his boots scraped. I sensed slack rushing across links toward me, another cable snapping. No time to think. I hooked my cane around a side rope and scrambled, sightless for the far anchor. The bridge bucked, chains thrashing like serpents. A final snap cracked the air. Weightlessness. My stomach plummeted. Then bone-jarring pain as I slammed into a rock ledge, somehow catching its lip with my left hand, case still strapped to my chest. Wind tore past, hauling the collapsed bridge downward into the toxic sea. The man fell with it, his screams spiraling into silence. Minutes passed before my pulse slowed. I lay on the ledge, sensing blood dampening my sleeve. I should have been dead. Why wasn't I? One thought answered. The ledge. That sudden salvation shouldn't exist. I knew this path by heart. No shelf jutted here, my cane confirmed. A narrow platform nestled against the cliff face, maybe 2 meters wide, slick with lichen. Stranger still, chiseled stone stairs slanted downward from its edge, vanishing into rock shadow. A staircase? Below the known ridge? I scoured memory. No map or tale spoke of such a thing. My courier trade thrives on hidden ladders, but this secret had escaped every whisper. Where did it lead? I listened. Faint trickle of water, warm air sighing upward carrying petrichor, fresh soil after rain. Impossible. The cloud sea below kills plants within minutes, yet the scent was unmistakable, and something in me yearned for it. I slid the cylinder into my pack, bound my wounded arm, and started down. The steps angled steep at first, rough cut, but soon smoothed into marble, edges worn by centuries of feet. Every 20 paces, a niche held a globe lamp powered by some humming crystal. The deeper I descended, the warmer the air grew, thick with leaf breath and flowering sweetness. My lungs adjusted to moisture instead of dryness. Sweat beaded. My blindness, unbothered by light or dark, still perceived a halo glow around each lamp through warmth on skin. After perhaps 300 stairs, the count comforted me. The wall on my right vanished. Open space yawned. I felt it by echo. A vast cavern. Bird song darted through the air, crisp and living. My heart hammered. I advanced another 20 steps. Cane met springy turf, not stone. Grass. I knelt, fingers sinking into blades cool as morning. A breeze rustled through leaves. Insects chirred. I might have wept then, but disbelief locked tears inside. I was in a valley beneath the poison. But how? Was the cloud sea only a thin crust hiding paradise? Or had someone carved out an oasis and sealed it? Footfalls approached. Soft, assured. I rose, cane ready. A woman spoke. "Be calm, traveler. You're safe in Havenvale." Her voice bore a musical lilt older than mountaintops. She took my hand, guiding me along a path that sprang alive under my boots with wild thyme. "I am Leon of the Circle. You are injured." "Just a scrape," I answered, half laughing. "Where am I? Are we beneath the clouds?" "Within them," she corrected gently. "Our valley pierces ventilation shafts that cleanse the air. We harness old Earth's machinery. The cores that once poisoned now purify here. Few know." We stopped. She pressed a cup to my lips. Cool water tasted like speechless gratitude. Why secrecy? I asked. Because the 7 peaks would descend in days, strip the valley bare, and still leave their poor starving above. Our founders chose silence. I thought of the elite cylinder, the envoy's threat, the collapsed bridge. They already know. Leon's breath caught. How? I told her of the case, my mission, the ambush. She listened without interruption. When finished, I expected disbelief. Instead, she said, "They moved quicker than we feared." She led me toward what felt like an arbor. Vines brushed my shoulders. Others arrived, voices buzzing. Someone cleaned my wound. Meanwhile, Leon explained, "The circle were scientists, agronomists, healers, descendants of those who built the mountaintop exodus. They had refused to abandon the surface entirely and labored generations to detoxify a pocket of land using nanites and atmospheric vents. Supplies reached them through disguised shafts. The elites accepted reports, claiming the valley remained lethal. And the circle preferred it so, nurturing biodiversity in secret. Now, a power struggle in the convene threatened everything. According to rumors, Chancellor Kuth sought a reclamation campaign. Not to rescue the masses, but to secure fertile land for a chosen few, leaving the cloud dwellers to their toxic fate once resources dwindled. The cylinder I carried likely held data or a control device verifying the valley's location and safety. Delivered, it would become the Chancellor's leverage. "You cannot complete your delivery," Leon stated. A courier's vow burned in me. Break a contract and no client will trust you again. Yet that bridge had been cut intentionally. My death served someone's plan. Did loyalty still bind me? "Chancellor Kuth will keep this paradise for his court," Leon pressed. "But we—" She touched my cane. "We could share it with all." "All," I repeated. The word felt wide as the valley. "But what? I thought, what?" We debated through night's hush. They offered sanctuary, but my duty tangled with their plea. Then I remembered the follower who died, a man whose sister needed medicine denied by those same elites. Was duty truly to the powerful, or to those clouds had damned? At dawn, I asked to hear the valley's outer perimeter. They led me along orchard rows into open meadow. Sunlight filtered golden through upper haze warmed my face. Somewhere above, the mountaintop cities huddled, believing life impossible here. My decision crystallized. "I will take the case to Orus Citadel," I declared. Gasps rippled. Leon protested, but I raised a palm. "Not unopened." That afternoon, circle engineers guided my fingers across the cylinder's seams. Invisible latch released. Inside, a crystalline sphere humming with code, and beneath it, a thin slate etched in micro-braille. Someone expected a blind courier might peek. The message was brief. "Sphere activates failsafe. Vent shafts seal. Valley irreversibly sterilized. Use only on my authority. CKK, the Devil's Key." Delivering this would not reveal Havenvale. It would erase it, ensuring secrets remained secrets until reclamation forces soon descended. The sphere's power source, quantum resonators, may be unstoppable once triggered. I snapped the case shut. "We have to destroy it," Leon urged. "Then they'll send another courier, or soldiers," I countered. "We need proof evidence to sway the peaks before nightfall of tyranny." We plotted. The circle possessed optical comma rays reaching some towers under the guise of weather stations. They could broadcast images, but images alone, unseen by the blind and spun by the powerful, were not enough. We needed to unmask the convene publicly, using their own voice. I proposed walking straight into Orus Citadel, with an empty shell-nosed sphere forcing Kuth to confess its purpose before his council. Meanwhile, the circle would intercept and rebroadcast his admission to every screen on every peak. It was audacious and lethal. But if I succeeded, the people gifted for the first time with hope might rise. We had one obstacle. Guards would search me. The sphere was sizable. Guards would search me. The sphere was sizable. We needed a decoy. The Circle 3D printed an identical shell of inert glass, weight matched by sand. The true mechanism they dismantled. Its resonators repurposed to boost their transmitters. Leon pressed a seat into my palm. If you survive, plant this where all can see. Back up the staircase I climbed, guided by memory. This time 2 circle spies escorted me until we neared Collapse Gap, where the bridge had been. They rigged a single rope line across the void. Muscles quaked, but I crossed, heart steady. I resumed the route, blood scrubbed from my sleeve, blind eyes forward. By midday I arrived at Orus Citadel, granite spires humming with drones. Sentinels frisked me. They found only the sealed case. I was escorted into a domed hall, alive with echoing voices and datapads. At its center, Chancellor Kuth. "Courier Row," he greeted, smooth as oiled stone. "No accidents, I trust." "I encountered some," I said, "but delivery remains intact." He laughed softly. "Predictable resilience." He took the case, input a code, and opened it. A sigh slid from his lips. Surprise or relief? "Excellent." He closed the lid. "Counselors, you may return to agenda." I raised my hand. "Chancellor, as proof of receipt, please state the device's function." A hush. Counselors turned curious. Kuth's tone cooled. "Function is classified. Payment to courier is sufficient proof." I stepped forward, cane clicking. "My guild requires verbal confirmation. For insurance." A partial lie. No one dared contradict such procedure. I sensed unease swirl. Someone coughed. A counselor murmured, "Yes, protocol, Chancellor." Cornered by appearances, Kuth sighed. "Very well. The device is a sterilization trigger should subcloud anomalies threaten public safety." Satisfied? Voices erupted. "Sterilization? Anomalies? What anomalies?" Another demanded. Kuth's control slipped. I asked louder, "Does this pertain to the rumored valley?" Whispers leapt like sparks. Kuth barked, "There is no valley. Disinformation." Too late. High above the dome, comm screens flickered alive, hijacked by the circle. Live footage spread across them, skies parting over Haven Vale, emerald terraces, children running. Mater. Leyen spoke. "Citizens of the peaks, you were never doomed to stone and poison. See what your leaders kept." Pandemonium. Counselors surged, shouting. Guards grabbed me. One ripped the case open. Sand trickled, empty. Their curses fueled uproar. Kuth lunged, seizing my collar. "Where is it?" I faced him square, though sightless. "Where you can no longer reach to destroy life." Someone on the floor demanded arrests. Others demanded Kuth's resignation. CNN Cloud Network node letters beeped. Public feeds exploding. Outside horns blared, crowds gathering. I slipped from grasp during chaos, navigating turbulence as easily as still air. Using acoustics, I located a side door. Cane tapping its latch, I pushed through into a service lift. An operator inside, panicked, asked, "Where to?" I said, "Ground level," then breathed calm. When the doors opened, protest already thundered. People shouted for truth, for access to the valley, for justice. I emerged into wind thick with change. Someone recognized me, perhaps by description, and hands patted my shoulder, guiding me gently, protectively. I reached Dawnspire Bridge by dusk. Fires of revolt glimmered across peaks. Over city loudspeakers, messages from the circle played, instructing safe descent through the hidden staircase, now unsealed. Engineers published blueprints for purifying nanite vents, promising expansion. I slept little. Adrenaline sang. In following weeks, the 7 peaks convulsed. Kuth was detained by his own guard, an early concession to public fury. Delegates met with circle envoys to coordinate controlled migration. Not all went smoothly. Supply lanes buckled. Factions hoarded. But a tide had turned irreversible. I remained courier. Though assignments changed, I carried seedlings, medical cultures, maps to new settlers. My cane traced fresh layouts where once only cliff and cloud ruled. The man who died on the bridge haunted me. His sister, I learned, survived. Circle physicians sent antitoxins above promptly. I knelt at his family's door to apologize. They forgave me, calling him martyr. One morning, months later, Leon stood beside me atop an observation deck just above Haven Vale's rim, guiding my hand to a railing newly installed for public safety. Wind smelled not of sulfur, but of pine sap and loam. "You kept the seed I gave?" she asked. I reached into a pouch, withdrew a sprout hardly longer than my thumb roots coiled around dark soil. Together we planted it in a niche between stone and earth where travelers would pass. I pressed it gentle, feeling life pulse. "Name it," Layan said. "Bridgekeeper," I whispered. We rose. Distant clangs echoed, construction of terraces for arriving families. Children's laughter skipped across fields. I closed my sightless eyes, habit, comfort, and listened. The world had grown larger, not by what I could see, but by the truths uncovered between each step, each echo, each vow broken so a greater vow could form, not to the elites or the clouds or even to the courier's creed, but to life in all its stubborn, green insistence.